Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 58 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. My name is Nick, and sometimes when I jump in to save the day, I am known as the Orbital Alliance. And there is no Tan, which many of you guys who have been listening to the show, if you were on last week in the audience, you've listened to it, you'll know that Tan was supposed to be filling in tonight and covering this week, episode 58. But we had some shifts and shimmies in our routine. So I jumped in last second to create an episode for this week for you guys. And I'm excited to do it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. But Tan is still traveling. He's out of state. He's not anywhere near his recording equipment, but he texted me earlier this week, which is last week for you guys in the future. Hey, I just realized my flight is literally, I'm going to be in the air when I'm supposed to be doing the live show on Monday, July 7th. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. And you guys know that I was supposed to be doing nothing this week because I was supposed to be traveling, and I am traveling because I'm not going to be near my recording equipment. I'm definitely not bringing it with. So we're like, what do we do? Well, Tan left early in the week last week, and I had a little bit of extra time to jump in here and record something for you guys, and then posting it later for you to enjoy. So this is not a live episode. I am not going to be talking with you guys in the chat like normal. Sorry about that. But this is the best that we got. And I'm here for it. I'm here to have a really good, fun discussion. I will probably state that this will be a much shorter episode than usual. I'm on a time crunch and I need to just get an episode done and posted for you guys. And I have thoughts that I've been thinking about, but I don't have 3 hours to ramble about something today. So going to keep it nice and snack sized. And then we'll come back big for next week, which is going to be our season 2 finale for you guys, which is gonna be great. Episode 59. And that'll be a much more meaty show. So think of this as like the appetizer for next week, maybe that, or just some popcorn to tide you over. But anyway, that being said, if you're brand new with us on the show, appreciate you guys checking us out. The Galactic Window Space Podcast. Normally it's hosted by me and Tan, and we talk about space and astronomy. And we appreciate everyone who comes to listen or watch the shows. We live stream here on YouTube and Twitch every single week, Monday night at 9 p.m. Central. We also stream audio episodes or broadcast post. What do you want to call it? Posting? We post audio episodes every single week on your favorite audio podcast platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. So be sure to tune in wherever you find the best fit for yourself, and we appreciate it. But today, okay, cool. I've got like maybe 25 minutes here. I'm going to set a limit and see where this goes. It is always weird not having an audience in here because that is part of the charm of the show, is having some crowd interaction, some crowd engagement, but we're going to do what we can. So anyway, you guys, space. Let's talk about it. I actually had a little bit of a revelation this week, which I thought was pretty cool. And I thought it would be worth sharing with you guys, thus sort of maybe ushering in the context of this episode. It was like you're basically going to be hopping on the deep thought train of Nick and you have no idea where it's going to go. But that's okay. Sometimes I just let the tracks steer me and I end up in some weird place, but that's okay. The whole point of this is to kind of get your mind chugging, and then eventually you can split off and go on your own train track destination. So let me show you guys a photo real quick. Let's see here. I'm going to do a screen share. So if you guys are listening on the audio podcast, I'll do my best to describe it for you. But bear with me as I pull up this photo that I took while on a walk with my dog this week. So can you guys see this? Yeah, not the best screen share, but I know that you guys are probably looking at this photo and being like, dang, that belongs in National Geographic. That is like the most incredible, exciting, and definitive photo for the whole human race. Right? Obviously, that's not the case. Let me describe it for you. So this is a vertical photo I took with my phone, literally in a local park, and it is just grass, some trees, and the sky, a clear blue sky, mostly clear. There's a few clouds down there, but this is literally the shot, just a basic shot of the environment. And the reason I took this photo was not because there was some incredible instance like a hawk catching a rabbit or, beautiful deer hanging out in a boggy meadow with a sunrise behind it. Like, no, this is just our world, you know. And the reason I wanted to show it is because it painted the picture almost perfectly that blue and green are basically our planet's colors, you know. And you could argue white with the clouds as well. So there's some white clouds back there. So maybe it is more perfect than I thought. But I'm gonna drop it here. But you kind of get the point. Um, but basically, I took that shot because I wanted to be reminded for myself that blue and green signify so much more than just some basic coloration. And again, it's not about the detail or the subject of that shot, but the world, our planet, is comprised of blue and green water and life, land mass, and growth and trees, biology. These ecosystems in balance, checking each other. The sky is blue, the atmosphere is blue, the oceans and the lakes, reflect that blue, and it becomes this engulfing color where the blue planet, the blue marble is, it's been called so lovingly. There's just this adoration for these two simple colors. And I think it's worth reminding ourselves just by looking at this really basic shot that we have a responsibility, of course, to be protecting this planet. We're the key dominant species, like by far. And we have a duty and a responsibility to be protecting it. Now, I know this is going to probably sound very quickly like a conservationist message, but and maybe it is. And I'm okay with that, but it's not my intention to be, going all political or anything. But the point is to just call out our inner humanity, my humanity, your humanity, no matter who you are, where you are, we all inhabit planet Earth. There are only a handful of humans who are not here right now, and they're still very close to home. And those are the people aboard the International Space Station, right? Like there's just, I think there's fewer than 10, maybe 10 people in the space station right now. But the other 7 point whatever billion people that exists, we're all right here on blue and green, and we all need blue and green. They're required. They're not a suggestion. They're not a recommendation. We need air, water, life, grass, plants, all of the things that create this beautiful and darn near perfect ecosystem that defines planet Earth as our home. And I know that sounds extremely corny and again, kind of conservation idealist, but it really shouldn't be held as something that is an exclusive message for uh, politically charged people with a picket sign outside. That is a definitive message that we should embrace as doctrine, I think, inside every single human being, that we cherish this world, that it belongs to every single person, every single biological entity that has life in it, and every bit of material that this earth is comprised of, every bit of rock, lava, water droplet, air molecule, you name it, it all, that message belongs to all of us. And it is our duty to keep that ecosystem safe and protected and in such a state that we can perpetuate it going forward into the future. Now, I know you're probably like, okay, great. Well, where's this going? How does this tie into space and astronomy? Well, let's just talk about it. It's called planet Earth, right? It's the third planet in our solar system, and it is a very wonderful and perfect planet in the perfect place to harbor all the things just described, and to not just have a temporary stay, but a potentially permanent stay, an anchor point for life to eventually branch out beyond our star system and into the next, perhaps deeper into the galaxy, and dare I even say, into the next galaxy and the next and the next. And who knows where that might lead, but it all starts here. And understanding the basic structure of our star system and the order of planets and the delicate balance that all of the planets and our star have, this dance that's doing right now as you listen to this or watch this, that as we speak, this dance is happening and we're maintaining it. And simply by existing, we are determining the outcome of that future, the ability to go beyond. Um, but I think the first step of going beyond is simply maintaining, right? Obviously, a huge message of the past maybe half century or so has been this idea of, you know, protecting planet Earth and, you know, the ozone layer and the carbon emissions and, you know, and so on, the waste, abundance of waste that we have, and recycling. All those things stem from a recognition that we are stewards of this world, and maintaining it is our responsibility, right? And a lot of these things that we can think of immediately, like how do we take care of our planet? Obviously, recycling goods and materials instead of trashing them so they end up in a landfill. Being conscious of, you know, your exhausts in your vehicles, in your house, like what you're burning, your food consumption, how much of it is waste, how much of it you actually consume and put to use. The list goes on. We're all aware of those things. Those aren't surprises, right? But they do matter, and I think every single day that goes by, they matter more and more. And it's really easy to be lazy about it, and I get lazy about it constantly. How do I recycle this used AA battery? What about this light bulb? I'll just throw it away. Like, one more won't hurt, right? But if a million of us just say one more won't hurt, uh, or over 10 years, that equals maybe 100 million of us say one more won't hurt. Now we have how many square feet of landfills filled with old dead alkaline batteries and crushed light bulbs, or recycled thermostats that have mercury in it. You know, there's all kinds of crazy things that we do that was, just one more doesn't matter. What's one more thing? So I think being conscious, again, just having a little bit of a reminder that our green and blue world depends on us making those micro decisions and doing something wise, making a little extra effort to revise our way of thinking and to push further in the direction of protection instead of ease. I certainly need that reminder, and I hope you guys maybe take this as a little bit of a call to action for yourself to continue to push in that direction too. So whatever that means for you, I'm not going to give you a list, but just be aware maybe of the next thing you can be doing. How can I use a little less water? Things like that. They matter, but that's maintaining. And this is where I want to introduce sort of a concept that I've been reading about more and thinking about more, and I think it's really exciting. So this idea of exploring in deeper and deeper into the solar system, right? Let's look at this here. Have you guys heard of the Kardashev scale? Not sure if you have. This is sort of a scientific or theoretical scale for labeling types of civilizations. And as we imagine the potential for life elsewhere in the universe, potentially in our own galaxy, we wonder, of course, at what stage of development are those civilizations going to be? Like, we don't know. I think a lot of us hope that maybe they're an advanced civilization with easy space travel and no waste on their planet, and they've ascended to a different state of existence. Like, that's kind of what we hope for. But it's also possible that there is life out there, but it's just primitive, right? Like that there's just molecular or biological life that's just small life forms like cells existing in oceans on other worlds. There's all different types, but there's a couple of key steps here on the Kardashev scale that I want to share with you guys that I think are really important. So let's talk about them. Type 1 civilization, which is known as the planetary version of it. So it's labeled as such because it's a civilization capable of harnessing all available energy on its home planet. This includes all forms of energy like geothermal, solar, and fossil fuels. Earth is currently estimated to be a type 0.7 civilization, meaning we're not yet able to utilize all of our planet's energy. Now, I think that's really interesting that if there are 3 steps, we're not even at the first one. But before we talk more about that, let's talk about the other 2, just so you have something to compare against. So a type 2 civilization is a stellar civilization, meaning stellar being star-based, not planet-based. So a civilization that can harness the energy of an entire output of its star, potentially using structures like Dyson spheres, to hypothetically surround a star to capture its energy. And then a type 3 civilization is a galactic civilization that can control and utilize the energy of an entire galaxy. So your brain starts to melt pretty quickly because I know mine did as I was just reading those. Um, all of human history ever has existed right here on planet Earth. So we've never ventured beyond other than our local moon. And that was just simply 6 moon missions with 3 people each. And only 12 of them landed on the surface. We've never gone to the next shore like planet Mars or a distant moon of Jupiter or Saturn. We've only remained in the confines of our safe planet. So, let alone learning how to actually maximize the use of our star to energize and fuel and protect our home world. The sun, of course, is a star. It's easy to think of it as just the sun, right? But I always like to be reminded that things in our daily life are so much more than we label them. Like I always often give this sort of children's book analogy. If you read any kid's book, it's a beautiful green grass in the blue sky, and there's a little yellow ball in the corner that's the sun, and it's like this is a sunny day, right? And that's kind of how kids interpret weather and state of the world. But it is so much more than that. And the antithesis of that, of course, is like, oh, it's a black sky with the moon is a little sliver and it's dark. That's how children's book represent it, but it's so much more than what that is. Like if you walk outside and it's a sunny day, you could go, hey, look, it's sunny out. Or you could say it's starry out, right? Because it's starlight that is illuminating everything to such a powerful extent. Like watch how instantly your eyes start squinting on a bright day because there's so many photons hitting you so intensely. The sun is not weak. It is a very like staunch force to be reckoned with in terms of light. It's also warm and gives you so much heat. It warms our planet. And it also is issuing radiation. It's a fusion reactor in the sky, right? And it is constantly emitting essentially deadly radiation that we can only be exposed to for so long until we get burnt or worse. You can really get sick or worse with too much sun exposure. So reframing it is like, oh, hey, it's the sun. It's sunny out. It's more like, oh man, our star is out right now, and it is a fusion reactor and is issuing light to our home world and radiation. Kind of reframes that perspective. Just looking at the moon too, like just because it's night doesn't guarantee that the moon is out, as a storybook for children might portray. The moon revolves around Earth and is in different positions relative to where you are on planet Earth, and the tilt of planet Earth and the rotation of planet Earth. It all creates a dynamic that actually does not make it consistent for the moon to be out at nighttime only for everyone. It's out during the day. It depends on what phase it is. Depends on where you are. So I always laugh about this joke that there's, if the sun is out and it's sunny, does that mean that the moon is out? Does that make it moony? I don't know. Like all these terms are kind of more like they're overly simplified, and we sort of lose the message here that we're on a planet, we're in the world. Is the sky blue? What really is the sky? The sky is just our word for the refracted blue light through our composition of the atmosphere. Obviously, that's way more complicated to say, but the way that the atmosphere scatters the light, the Rayleigh effect, only gives us the blue. It scatters all the other colors, and the blue is only one that makes it through. That's an important and critical thing that we just like, yeah, it's the sky. Look, there's a bird in the sky. It's like, well, there is no such thing as the sky. There's just atmosphere. Like there's air right here. When I do this, I feel air against my hands. The same is the case for 100 feet in the air, a mile in the air, 20 miles in the air, and eventually gets thinner and thinner and thinner. 50 miles in the air, 100 miles, 200 miles. Now there's next to nothing. It's just a deteriorating gradient of the same air that's right here. So we're in the sky then. If you're saying the atmosphere is the sky, then we're in the sky right now while our feet are attached to the ground. So anyway, I'm long-winded, but the point being, we have these oversimplified terms. I think it's easy to forget that we're on a planet. And the next step is engaging with the planet for what it is, not a children's storybook representation, but the potential for being a launch pad into the solar system and beyond. So, the sun, we know that there are PV cells and solar panels, right? Those have been around for a very long time, decades and decades and decades. They're getting better and better, more efficient, cheaper, more available. Amazing. How many homes in your neighborhood have solar panels on their roof? Probably dozens at this point. Most neighborhoods have at least one. But even in my neighborhood, there's more and more and more going up every year. I have friends who are currently adopting solar panels, and that's only going to be more prevalent as time goes on, which is such a powerful thing. Is harnessing that energy to power our homes, to power our grid, our society. But there is so much more to be harnessed from our star. It's 93 million miles away. It's the perfect distance to provide us life. But like I said, it's a fusion reactor. How do nuclear power plants work? We harness the power of atomic energy in a safe way. There are other ways that we can collect that energy. And just these examples, we're talking about Dyson spheres, which are sort of these mega structures that don't exist, but in science fiction, you probably heard about some of them. We can cover a whole star and have it just constantly siphon that energy and distribute it freely for billions of years to civilizations in your local star system and maybe beyond. So if we can get to that point, we'll become a type 1 planetary civilization. Correction, type 2. But if we are going to be a type 1, we do need to maximize what's here on Earth, and that is taking advantage of solar and wind and all those different types of renewable energies that can help us get to newer places more safely without compromising our environment that we exist in, which is currently how we've been doing things pretty dramatically. But if we do create a Dyson sphere or something of that ilk, something to harness that constant incoming, maybe space solar panels or solar panels around planet Earth that can help cool Earth in its hottest places where things are actually getting really dangerous. Maybe we can figure out a way to advance our civilization even further. If we can use that energy and bottle it up, harness it, store it, use it as fuel for rockets or space vehicles, maybe when we move beyond combustion engine rockets. What if we could just endlessly fuel spaceships, just tour around the solar system all the time in a type 2 civilization? How cool would that be? And just think about how many hundreds and thousands of years that we've been in existence, maybe even the past few decades where we've been a spacefaring species, but we've just been using, methane and hydrogen and oxygen, all these finite resources here on Earth to do it. But we could all along just do it using our star. It'd be game changing. And that ushers us into the type 3, the galactic. Because if you can harness a star, the possibilities are essentially endless compared to the very finite scale of human life, right? So maybe we can keep going into type 3, move on to the next star, see if there are other intelligent species there, and collaborate and cooperate and move on even further from there. And you're talking not just like 1 year, you're talking tens, hundreds of years of work and development to move to the next one, thousands of years. And then maybe, just maybe at some point, we create a network with other life and we explore and keep going, harnessing the resources of other worlds and eventually conquering the galaxy, but not in the name of destruction, in the name of consumption, healthy consumption. We have this world, we're maintaining it. We're going to take the next world, we're going to maintain it. We learn from our time on planet Earth. We know what not to do anymore. How to recycle our products, how to create renewable energy, to harness it, and to keep that being a relay point for the next, and the next, and the next. And who knows what's possible with the type 3 civilization when you harness the power of a galaxy. What does that mean? Andromeda is our next galactic neighbor. I think it's 2 million light years away, meaning if you're traveling at the speed of light, take 2 million years to get to it. What if we could push beyond that, find a way to connect? And who knows? what kind of life is out there in the next one. That's just the nearest galaxy. What about the hundreds of billions of other galaxies that exist deep in the universe? It's hard to imagine that there isn't something smarter or more capable than us. And who knows what they can teach us too? Maybe we'll only be a type 2 civilization and a type 3 will come along and be like, hey, let's help you speed things up a bit, you know? Pretty cool. Reading this a little bit further, since there's potential extensions to the scale. Beyond the original 3 types, extensions have been proposed, including type 4, which is controlling the energy of a supercluster of galaxies, or type 5, controlling the energy of the entire universe and beyond. Now, like I said earlier about mind melting, if all of this so far hasn't done that, then this most certainly will. Imagine harnessing the entire power of the universe. Crazy. Absolutely wild. But I'm kind of here for it, you know? It's that's where you want to be in your head, is in this state of I can't believe or even imagine, can't construct an imagination scenario where I can picture it anymore. But that's kind of cool. I know I won't be around for it. None of us will be, but it's possible. And who knows what might happen? That's up to our great, so on grandchildren, pending that we keep pushing forward. So anyway, I hope you guys have kind of been invigorated by this talk about planet Earth, our home world, and focusing on the steps that you can play to help keep us moving positively in a direction towards maybe a type 1 civilization. Let's work on getting ourselves from a 0.7 to 0.8. Baby steps, right? And again, this is not just about having fun and meeting aliens. It's about ensuring that we can thrive here on planet Earth. It is about our daily life, how well we can drive to our jobs every day, what sort of resources will our children have access to versus our generation or the generation before, what opportunities do our grandchildren have and our 10 times grandchildren. That's up to us now. And every battery you maybe throw away, or every half-eaten sandwich that gets tossed, those all matter, and they all contribute to this enormous snowball that is going to determine the future of the human race. But as for me, I'm optimistic. I'm very hopeful and energetic about this. And that's why I took that picture at the beginning. Let me pull it up one more time for you guys, just to prove the point that we are at the very core 2 colors, green and blue, right? Very simple. So if you're thinking about what can I do? Well, if you're considering to do how to do something, just ask yourself maybe this: is this going to make the green and blue stick around, or is it going to take it away? If you don't have the answer, then maybe it's time to do some research and some learning about those things that you're considering. And there's nothing wrong with that. Getting a little smarter, learning how to care for yourself and the world, not a bad thing. There you have it, guys. 30 minutes. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm on a tight schedule today because I am about to head out for my vacation. But I'm glad we got to do this little talk. It was so much fun to kind of dump my brain out for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed it, really. Let me know in the comments on this video, what are you thinking about with all this? It's a giant mass. What surfaces in your mind and in your being? Share it with us, because it's likely other people will want to know too. And maybe they have similar ideas. But it'll be fun to engage with you guys. I'll say hi in the comments when I do see them come in. But yes, so let's wrap it up there. This is episode 58 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. And next week is episode 59, which is our season 2 finale of the show, which is crazy. So just to give you guys a little bit of a get up to speed, Tan and I will be taking a extended break, which is something we've never done before. We wanted to take some time to kind of shut off the running water so we can do some renovations on the interior. You know, you can't, it's kind of like if you want to remodel your kitchen, you can't cook in it for some time, or you can't use your sink. You do need to turn off the water and the gas and the electricity to make sure that you can properly do some renovations. And that's what we're doing. We're making the show bigger and better. And more importantly, we're adding more value to it. We're focusing on the value component, and we're going to be spending the next several weeks doing that. So we're taking a break after next week. So Tan and I will both be back here in the studio streaming for you guys Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, July 14th. That'll be our last episode for the break. And then we'll give you guys an update maybe next week. This is me thinking off the top of my head here, but maybe next week we'll give you guys an update on the accurate time that we're coming back. So pay attention there, and do coming out with us. Be sure to share this podcast with people that you care about or people that you think enjoy learning about the night sky or astronomy or the philosophy behind it. You never know who might have some interest. Maybe they're just an accountant, but maybe they love to learn about space too. Send them the link. Let them know. We'd love to have them here. But yeah, you can find us on all those crazy social media platforms: Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, all your favorite places. All right, you guys, let's cue it up here. Let's cue up this end. Appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for the season 2 finale. See you all on the other side.